Honestly, it's pretty sad to see your own equipment being captured in a country that, I mean, we're not at war with them. And so why do they have our equipment? Well, you guys know the reason why. It is finally here, the Patriot Park video you guys have been waiting for. Inside this museum, you're going to get to see captured equipment from the Second World War, but you're also going to get to see modern Russian military equipment. That is right, I get to walk around all over the park showing you all of these things. And I will also be showing you captured Western equipment. Please do share this video with your friends. We need a lot of people to see this video because a lot of people aren't able to visit Moscow. Let's get into the video. Your eyes do not deceive you, my friends. We are mounted on top of a tank and we are outside of a weapons museum that is located outside of Moscow. We're gonna go ahead and go inside and then check out this entire facility for you so you don't have to make the trip out here, but you can if you want. Let's go.
Go disembark.
The tickets to the Patriot Park are 350 rubles each, and you get access to basically all of the grounds. But I wanted to show you behind me, there's a cathedral, or like a church, a military church that's somewhere around this campus. This is a miniature replica of it. The military equipment that is inside of this museum ranges from like World War II and forward. Behind us, there's a line of different types of infantry fighting vehicles and different type of vehicles in general. We're gonna get to see them. I'm really excited because I love history. Now there is a bunch of tourism here from like little kids. The kids get to climb on some of these different types of vehicles. Again, this is mostly historical equipment that we have here, and the kids love it. Kids love getting on those things. Here's some information on this one. And so if you know anything about the Great Patriotic War, you know that the Soviets were mass producing vehicles at a rate that Germany just could not. They believed in the quantity of things that they could push forward. And they seriously produced a lot of different types of weapons in unreal amounts. And there's a young little Ruski having fun at the Patriot Park. Some of these weapons are so random. I'm not used to seeing them because Americans obviously built their weapons differently. Even until today, the Russians build some equipment that does the same job as our equipment, but it looks completely different. Two militaries building the same concept that looks way different. In all of war history, it is an honor not only to capture prisoners, but equipment like this is the pinnacle of war. Now, obviously, this is not a Soviet tank by the markings on the side. It is, in fact, a Nazi German tank captured by the Red Army. Now, I will tell you, in this museum, in this park, there is captured equipment from the most recent conflict that you guys are going to get to see exclusively in the upcoming few minutes. We're gonna finish around here looking at the historic stuff, but the main reason why I came is to see the modern armor of both sides, the Russians and whoever else they captured. On the way out, you get to see a lot of different Soviet equipment, again from the Second World War here. Different tanks that are just on display. Here, this one's even got some lights. Look at that. The USSR. This is more like World War I era. But the museum continues. Let's see if we can find some more captured stuff. Ksenia's actually getting a coffee, and the coffee The cafe is at a tank. That's funny. All right, Constantine. Well, look, I as a war veteran, it was always my pride when I took 5 prisoners in war. I obviously never got the chance to take equipment because the Taliban really didn't have tanks. But I would have felt proud, and it always made me wonder, while we're in this museum with so much captured equipment, what do you feel? What do you think when you see all of this captured equipment that the Soviets took, and that we're going to go see what the Russians took as well? But what does it make you feel?
Well, you know, I'm always fascinated, I guess, when I'm in a place like this where there is so much military hardware on display. And I guess it just goes to show that Russia, the Soviet Union, has gone through so many wars. So you have like captured stuff from World War I, from World War II, and then we're gonna see something from modern era. But yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, we've been through a lot of wars.
Yeah, and just so it hits home, man, you have to imagine as you turn around here, I don't think that the Germans ever thought that their war machines will be played by little kids.
Oh, yeah.
This is a literal joke to humanity. Like, the Germans are probably rolling in their graves right now as Russian kids are proudly and so joyfully playing with armor that they were going to use to supposedly conquer the world. Now, a big reason why I like this tank behind us, it is the Tiger tank. And it was meant to be the tank that ends the morale of the enemy. The Germans, you know, they had a superior engineering, and they looked down on Constantine's ancestors' technology. I have to say, there is a modern era ideology to this, tied in with the modern equipment that's stored somewhere else, captured by the Russian military. In today's modern conflict, many countries all over the world are sending weapons to a certain country, thinking that is going to be the game changer in today's conflict. And let me tell you, it has worked against them, because it's not really done much. Constantine, you and I did basically an interview together, right? A war analysis, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
And I just wanted to plug that in because it's really important to be up to date with the reality of the situation. And I'm going to put a link right now on the screen. You can click on it, and it's basically Constantine and I breaking down different things in the conflict. That's the Tiger tank that I'm talking to you guys about. Look at this engineering marvel. Completely different to how the Soviets were building their tanks. On this line, you can see there's a bunch of captured German Nazi stuff. Again, it is unbelievable to see that these things are basically still in great condition, and they've been maintained by the Russian government as of basically like a pride thing, right? This is to show what your capabilities are. And you know what's funny, guys? There's also an American Sherman tank. I was not expecting that, as obviously there was no war between these countries, so perhaps there was a trade-off. Perhaps it's a donated equipment. This is the Sherman tank from the United States of America. Really cool. And at the end of this row, we have another big boy. This is a Panther, a German Panther. I love the names that the Germans gave to their weapons. Very nice. Very, very nice. Again, a Sherman. You can tell, guys, this is not the best tank by far. In fact, I don't even think it was medium class, like tier level. It's not a really good war tank for its era when the Germans were building monsters. I want you to compare this heavy tank here. This is a heavy tank, a bigger tank of the Soviet Red Army. At the same time, you're gonna look at the Tiger. Look at the design of it. This is a superior design. a much sturdier everything, meant for the real deal. And so guys, after the tank, the Tiger II came out. Now this really was the tank designed to end all tanks. Unfortunately, it did not help them. Towards the end of the war, they were absolutely overwhelmed by smaller equipment of the Soviet Red Army, which will tell us, guys, what is better, the quality of the equipment or the quantity of the equipment? The Soviets believed that it was the quantity at that time, because they were overwhelming their enemies with quantity. Now the Germans, on the other hand, believed that the quality of these things meant more, but unfortunately for them, having good quality weapons like the Tiger II take longer to make. You need better trained soldiers, which are going to die anyways, and so you need to replenish soldiers who are highly trained, and you need to remake armor like the Tiger II. And at the end of the day, you know who won the conflict in the Second World War, and it was the Allies. Here is more captured equipment and its counterpart on the other side, on the Red Army. So what I'm starting to notice is whatever they captured from the Germans, they'll have it on one side, and then they'll have similar equipment on the other side. These are all of the same era. I am not familiar with the name of all of these things, but I would tell you, I think I know what their operation was meant to be used for. T-34 here. You could even look inside. Now, as I showed you that Sherman tank, my buddy just let me know that the reason why there's a bunch of American equipment in this museum is because during that time there was Lend-Lease, right? So the Allies were lending different equipment to each other so that they would help each other in the war effort. Now, here we have a Studebaker truck, a beautiful design, something that was widely seen in the front. This one is also an American thing. It says self-propelled anti-aircraft weapon, an M17. Look at that. Also an American design, but it's also in a Russian museum. But you can tell, I mean, that it's an American design, but also it's a Red Army vehicle now. Why? Because this is something that was given by the Americans to the Soviets. The same thing goes to the Studebaker. This is all equipment made in the United States, but given to the Soviets. Awesome. You guys know I love mosaics, and I've been to Mongolia so many times. There's a section here dedicated to the friendship and the great work that the Mongolians did in help of the Soviets. In this section, there's also captured Japanese equipment. We're going to see how different it looks. But always remember what the Mongolians did for the Soviet Union. Again, every country was just designing weapons so differently. And this is a Japanese tank. I don't know the name of it. It's like Shinhoto. But these really don't look that effective. I don't think that the Japanese had great tanks. If they did, and I'm not aware of it, you can let me know down in the comment section. But for the most part, at first glance, they look very, very weak. Maybe at lower level than Americans. Maybe even lower level than the Soviets. We finally made it outside. We are gone and out of that World War II era. Some of this equipment that you see here is actually still being used in the current war. Now, you must understand, this all has different purposes in war, and I'm telling you right now, if there was a country that had nothing, this is enough to start waging war. Something like this that looks like it's part of a museum, some countries don't even have this. This is the Russian manufacturing power. They've even got some sort of submarine, perhaps, out in display. Now, on the outside of this museum or what is this called? An expose sort of thing, guys. There's all sorts of vehicles, way too many for me to show you. On this side, they seem to have some engineer vehicles. Definitely the kind of stuff that I was working next to, making roads and clearing IEDs in Afghanistan. Yeah, these are definitely engineer vehicles. I'm gonna go show you one up close really quickly so you understand what a military engineering vehicle looks like and its purpose in war. Now guys, when I'm telling you that it's really funny to see something like this, it's because I'm going to tell you some war humor. In the Iraqi war, there was a confirmed kill by a man who drove something just like this, basically like a tractor or a bulldozer just moving dirt. There was Iraqi enemies behind a wall and he rammed his machine into that wall, smashed them, confirmed kills. Engineer vehicles are also very deadly if used correctly. Now this lot has many of them for many uses. Like I said, they build roads, they build trenches, they fortify positions even further, move pieces of wood. Engineers, you need them. I love this section of the museum. Now here are some older aircraft. I never liked flying. I don't like flying. I stayed on the ground. In fact, these I would never ride. They don't look safe, guys. Actually, I don't even think this one can fly. No, that's a joke. Has to fly. Now this machine right here, this helicopter, is from the Afghan war, but for the Soviets. This is amazing to be touching a part of history. These are my counterparts of the Soviet Union. It's unbelievable to me that I am not only in Russia, but I'm also touching a piece of equipment that fought basically. Let's just imagine this machine was in Afghanistan. It could have been Kandahar, Helmand, all over Afghanistan. I don't know. But I'm emotionally tied to this machine, and we've probably seen the same places. I'm always interested in learning new things, guys. I always heard the MiG, the MiG, the MiG. I mean, and there it is right here in front of us, the MiG. These are like the counterparts to those famous, what is it, the F-16s you said? Yeah. These are the counterparts to the Americans' designs at the time. Look at that though. Look at how slick it looks. So interesting. I always wanted to know what the heck this is in here. Oh, it's turbine. This is really cool, guys. This is the Su-27, the Su-27. Now, when I arrived to Russia, I lived in Irkutsk. And really cool fact that this machine here behind me is made in my city. I'm very proud of this, even though I'm not from Irkutsk actually. But it makes you feel really cool to know that something this magnificent is being built in the same city as you, the Su-27. All right, there's the MiGs. Now it's time to go look at the modern captured equipment. This is what we came for, guys. This is the goodies. Guys, I told you we were gonna see some American and foreign things in the modern era. This is an M777. In the Marine Corps, we have them, we've used them. Honestly, it's pretty sad to see your own equipment being captured in a country that, I mean, we're not at war with them. And so why do they have our equipment? Well, you guys know the reason why. Now, the most famous American vehicle is also here. This is obviously the well-known Humvee. This one, it shows you where it was captured. This says Mariupol. So on these flyers, guys, they tell you where they were captured, what country it comes from, and a lot of information about the vehicle. So yeah. Also, the Americans are not the only people who sent weapons. There's also this British-made one. Here's another Humvee. And then there's a South African vehicle here. Again, some of them actually have rounds on the glass where they were hit. So these were actually caught, captured, and fought for in combat. Follow me. I wanted to show you guys some of the more famous weapons that we use in the Marine Corps is the M240 Bravo here. Now this weapon I used myself in Afghanistan. I was you know, on a machine gun position. This was the weapon that I used. We also have the 50 cal right over here. The amount of anti-tank weapons that were sent from all over the world were all shown in this part of the museum. Now, I will say that they also captured different types of mortars from different countries and different amounts of munitions. This is unbelievable. There's even radios that were captured. We're just seeing a mine wolf here, which has been captured. Just imagine your mine wolf gets taken away, and it's meant to clear minefields. But that's besides the fact. Mines, these things right here will not let you sleep. All right, every step you have to think about. These are the notorious pedal mines. Could you imagine how small that is? If I sent you through a field, you'd be so dead worried about stepping on one of these, losing your leg. Now, in the front, because it's so big, you know, it's dense forest in some areas. There's typically it takes an engineer platoon to clear a path for somebody, and the Ukrainians simply don't have that. They're losing too many men. They're losing the equipment. It's all just going downhill for them.
So having one machine like this, it's not a game changer.
It's a game. I mean, it's not a game changer if you're talking about an entire front, but it's a big game changer to have it. If you have a mission to do. Would you rather do a clear minefield with your body or with this machine? All right, you have to think about it that way. Guys, you know, I was a combat engineer, so my job was a sapper. And interestingly enough, somehow they came up with captured metal detectors and mine detectors. Now we're gonna head outside. I was told that there's other vehicles. Come on, let's go. Damn. Here we have another American-made vehicle. This is basically like a troop carrier, M113, and it's showing you the slugs that it took, like the munitions used against it. Inside, it's torn up. There's all these different holes from the hits that it took. Inside, it looks absolutely devastated. Again, more American equipment here in this place. If you come, you can visit. Not only that. So as we're sitting here, you have to imagine this is a transportation vehicle, and it is blasted all throughout with these huge holes from high caliber munitions. You know, just being in here, I've been in situations where I've taken contact, not by big munitions like this, but the men that were in here met a tragic end. Make no mistake, this vehicle was captured in combat. It has all of the old simple tales of what happened. I mean, look at the size of this. I can fit 3 fingers into that, all right? Everybody who was in here received an insane amount of shrapnel. This was a death box. During my time in Afghanistan, I used something similar to this. I guess this is a Max Pro, but we were using the Mat V's and the damn, what the hell? I'm having blanks. MRAPs. I just have to make it very clear that during this part of the filming, there was firing in the background, and I was losing my concentration, you know. I was having flashbacks from the war. I couldn't concentrate. And, well, you know how it goes, guys. Thank you so much for watching it this far. Please do remember to like if you're enjoying it. Now let's continue. Sorry, guys. My mind is cloudy. Just being here, they're shooting blanks somewhere else. This place really puts you in a scenario that... like my mind starts rolling. You can tell that this one here, this is a British one. It pretty much got beat up by, you can see the windshield is absolutely blown to pieces from small arms fires, 7.62s. Come closer over here. In Afghanistan, this was probably the closest vehicle that I used. Like, this reminds me of the MAP V, same design, same concept. We took the same rounds, like from AK-47s. The Taliban used the same munitions. This is something that I would see maybe weekly. We would run through mirrors and windshields or windows like this. They're very heavy duty. The guys inside survived. If this is all they took, they survived. Here in the back lot, you have to pay to see the captured stuff. They have anything from boats to trucks, right? They have all sorts of stuff. That one over there is the Australian Bushmaster, which is blown to pieces as well, probably hit a mine. Here we have a Swedish tank. Again, on the back, you get to see all of the captured foreign stuff, and obviously a lot of equipment from this country. This is the main BTR, the most technologically advanced one that they found, and which was captured. It's supposed to be the most advanced electronically wise. It looks really beefed up, really modern, but it made its fate here and it's captured. America, not like from where I'm from in California, we don't have a lot of weapons.
Fun fact for Californian peoples, I have more gun liberties here than in California. You know what?
Ever since we did the gun exposition video where we have over 100,000 views, well, people have been asking, what are the laws to own rifles and guns in Russia? So in this next episode, we're going to be talking to a Russian lawyer, and she's going to be able to tell us all the different rules and regulations to owning and hunting inside of Russia. I'll see you on the next video. Share the video. Goodbye.